What if I told you the most significant war in human history is being fought right now, and you can't see it, hear it, or feel it? It's not a war of soldiers, tanks, or missiles. It's a silent, hidden conflict being waged in the sterile, sub-zero environments of quantum physics labs around the globe. While our headlines are filled with trade wars, border disputes, and political theater, the real battle for the 21st century and beyond is happening at the level of atoms. This is the story of the Quantum Shadow War, a technological arms race for control of the very fabric of information, the global economy, and perhaps reality itself. The nation that wins this race won't just be a superpower. It will become the architect of the new world order. We live in a world of visible conflicts. We see the economic friction between nations in the form of tariffs and sanctions. We see military power projected through aircraft carriers and cyber attacks. These are the struggles that dominate our news cycles, the conventional chess moves on the global stage. But beneath this surface, a far more profound conflict is unfolding. Imagine a power so fundamental, it could render every secret, every password, and every piece of encrypted data on Earth completely transparent. A power that could solve problems so complex they would take today, use most advanced supercomputers, billions of years to crack, and do it in a matter of minutes. This isn't science fiction. This is the promise of quantum computing. And this promise has ignited a war. Not a war for territory, but for technological supremacy. The battlefield isn't a piece of land. It's the strange and counterintuitive world of quantum mechanics, where particles can exist in multiple states at once, a concept known as superposition, and can be mysteriously linked across vast distances in a phenomenon called entanglement. Whoever masters these principles first won't just lead in science. They will hold the keys to the global economy, military intelligence, and the future of human innovation. The invention of the atomic bomb reshaped global power by weaponizing the atom. The quantum revolution will reshape our world by weaponizing information itself. This is a war of qubits and algorithms, and its outcome will define humanity's trajectory for the next 1,000 years. When the stakes are this high, the investment is staggering. We are witnessing a global spending spree on a scale that dwarfs even the most ambitious projects of the past. Forget the space race. This is a race for the mastery of inner space, and the price of entry is astronomical. Let's put the numbers into perspective. China has publicly committed a breathtaking $15 billion to its national quantum program. This isn't just a budget, it's a declaration of intent. It's a state-sponsored moonshot aimed at leapfrogging the West. The United States, through its National Quantum Initiative, has allocated $1.2 billion, a figure that was significantly reinforced in 2024. The European Union, not wanting to be left behind, has pooled its resources to create the $1 billion quantum flagship program. But these official figures are just the visible tip of a colossal iceberg. They don't account for the classified black budgets in military and intelligence sectors, where the most sensitive and potentially world-altering research is being conducted in secret. They don't include the tens of billions being poured into private research by corporate titans like Google, IBM, and Microsoft, who see quantum not just as a scientific frontier, but as the next trillion-dollar market. When you factor in all the private, public, and clandestine spending, experts estimate the global investment is already well into the hundreds of billions, with the potential economic impact valued in the tens of trillions. This is a technological arms race where the weapons are patents, PhDs, and prototype quantum processors. Every nation understands that falling behind doesn't just mean being second place in a scientific competition. It means becoming a vassal state in the coming quantum age, economically dependent and strategically vulnerable to those who control the ultimate high ground. In this global race, no country has pursued quantum dominance with the same singularity of purpose as China. Their approach is not a scattered collection of university projects and corporate ventures. It is a top-down, centralized, and ruthlessly efficient national mission. It's a strategy that views quantum technology not just as a tool for scientific discovery, but as the linchpin of its ambition for global economic and military supremacy in the 21st century. Coordinated by the powerful Chinese Academy of Sciences, More than 50 research institutions are working in lockstep, their efforts aligned toward a single goal: achieving national quantum advantage. There is no wasted effort, no redundant competition between domestic labs. It is a unified national machine, humming with purpose. Their most stunning achievement to date is a testament to this strategic vision: a 2,000-kilometer quantum communication network stretching from Beijing to Shanghai. This isn't just a science experiment, it's the functional backbone of a future quantum internet. How does it work? In simple terms, it uses the principles of quantum entanglement to transmit encryption keys. If a third party tries to intercept or even just observe the quantum signal, the very act of observation changes its state, instantly alerting the sender and receiver that their communication has been compromised. The laws of physics themselves become the ultimate security guard. For China, this network is a strategic fortress. Imagine a future where all government communications, all military commands, and all major financial transactions are transmitted over a network that is, by its very nature, immune to hacking and eavesdropping. While the rest of the world scrambles to protect its data from cyber attacks, China could be operating from within an impenetrable digital sanctuary. This is the first step in their grand strategy: to secure their own information architecture before using quantum power to dismantle their rivals. While secure communication is a powerful defensive tool, China's ambitions are far more offensive. The ultimate goal is to weaponize quantum computing for economic warfare. In specialized labs across the country, researchers are developing quantum algorithms designed not just to answer scientific questions, but to conquer global markets. The most immediate threat is to the foundation of our entire digital world: cryptography. The encryption that protects your bank account, government secrets, and corporate data, known as RSA encryption, is based on the mathematical difficulty of factoring large numbers. For a classical computer, this is an almost impossible task, but a sufficiently powerful quantum computer, running an algorithm developed back in 1994 called Shor's algorithm, could break this encryption in seconds. The implications are terrifying. In the wrong hands, this capability would be the equivalent of a universal skeleton key, able to unlock any digital door in the world. It could be used to infiltrate financial transactions, steal intellectual property on a massive scale, and destabilize entire economies by exposing their most sensitive data. But the economic weapon is more subtle than just breaking codes. Quantum computers excel at optimization problems, finding the best possible solution from a near infinite number of possibilities. China is channeling this power toward financial domination. Imagine quantum algorithms that can analyze global markets with a complexity far beyond human or AI comprehension, predicting stock market fluctuations, identifying invisible arbitrage opportunities between different exchanges, and executing trades with a speed and precision that is simply unbeatable. This could allow a state actor to manipulate markets, trigger financial crises in rival nations, or accumulate wealth with unparalleled efficiency. Furthermore, this optimization power extends to the physical world. Quantum computing could perfect China's logistics and supply chains, finding the most efficient routes for every ship, truck, and plane in its vast global trade network. This would slash costs, increase speed, and give Chinese industries an insurmountable competitive advantage. This isn't just about winning a trade war, it's about fundamentally rewriting the rules of global commerce in their favor. Faced with this highly centralized and aggressive strategy, the United States has launched a powerful counteroffensive, one that plays to its unique national strengths. The American approach is a dynamic fusion of federal government direction and the relentless, competitive innovation of its private sector. It's a public-private partnership on a scale not seen since the Apollo program. The backbone of this strategy is the National Quantum Initiative, a bipartisan effort signed into law and reinforced in 2024 to accelerate quantum research and development across the nation. This initiative funnels federal funding into national labs, universities, and research centers, creating a solid foundation for long-term discovery. It serves as America's quantum defense, coordinating efforts to protect the country from the very threats we've just discussed. But the true engine of the American counteroffensive lies in its tech giants. Companies like Google, IBM, and Microsoft are the heavy artillery in this war. With R&D budgets that rival those of small nations and a culture of fast-paced, market-driven innovation, they are pushing the boundaries of what's possible. These are not just corporations. They are the anchors of a sprawling quantum ecosystem. They attract the world's best talent, forge global partnerships, and build the platforms that will likely power the quantum future. This model, less a rigid top-down command and more a vibrant, sometimes chaotic ecosystem, is America's greatest asset. It bets on the power of competition and decentralized creativity to out-innovate a centralized, state-controlled system. This American ecosystem is already bearing fruit, particularly in the critical area of hardware. In 2019, Google announced it had achieved quantum supremacy with its Sycamore processor. This was a Sputnik moment for the quantum age. Google's machine performed a specific, highly technical calculation in 200 seconds that would have taken the world's most powerful supercomputer at the time an estimated 10,000 years to complete. While the practical utility of that specific calculation was limited, its symbolic power was immense. It was a clear demonstration of American leadership in building the physical machines that will drive the revolution. Google has since continued to push the envelope with newer, more powerful chips like Willow, proving that its initial success was no fluke. However, the US strategy is not just about offense. It is deeply invested in defense. Recognizing that the quantum sword will be able to cut through today's digital shields, the US National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, is leading the global effort to develop post-quantum cryptography, PQC. This is a race to create new encryption standards that are resistant to attacks from both classical and quantum computers. As a monumental undertaking to future-proof the world's digital infrastructure before the code-breaking quantum computers arrive. Beyond technology, the US is building strategic alliances. Understanding that this is a global struggle of ideas as much as technology, America is forming what some have called a quantum NATO. This is a coalition of democratic nations, including the UK, Canada, Australia, and Japan, committed to collaborating on research, sharing intelligence, and establishing common ethical standards for the use of quantum technology. The goal is to create a united front that can champion responsible innovation and counterbalance the authoritarian model, ensuring that the quantum future is built on principles of openness and freedom, not control and surveillance. While the US and China are locked in a head-to-head race, the European Union is charting a third distinct path. It is a path defined by a powerful, almost philosophical objective: quantum sovereignty. Europe is determined to avoid becoming a technological colony of either the American corporate giants or the Chinese state. It wants to build its own independent capabilities, guided by its own values. This strategy is embodied in two major initiatives. The first is the Quantum Flagship Program, a long-term, large-scale research effort designed to consolidate the continent's formidable scientific talent and translate it into world-leading technologies. The second, and perhaps more ambitious, is the European Quantum Communication Infrastructure, EuroQCI. This project aims to build a secure, continent-wide quantum communication network by 2027. The EuroQCI is the physical manifestation of Europe's quantum fortress strategy. Like China's network, it will use quantum key distribution to provide ultra-secure communication for government bodies, hospitals, and energy grids. But its underlying philosophy is different. It is designed not for centralized state control, but to protect the data and privacy of EU citizens and institutions in a world where digital sovereignty is increasingly under threat. Europe's goal is to create a safe harbor for its domestic innovation, shielding its intellectual property and critical infrastructure from foreign eavesdropping and manipulation. It's a defensive strategy, aimed at ensuring that when the quantum age fully dawns, Europe will be a master of its own destiny, not a consumer of technologies built and controlled by others. Despite its grand ambitions and deep pool of scientific talent, Europe's quantum fortress has significant vulnerabilities. The continent faces deep-seated structural challenges that threaten to undermine its quest for sovereignty and leave it a distant third in the global race. The first and most obvious challenge is funding. While a $1 billion for the quantum flagship sounds impressive, it is dwarfed by the centralized spending of China and the combined public-private firepower of the United States. Furthermore, this funding is often spread across a fragmented research landscape. The European Union is a union of 27 member states, each with its own national priorities, research agencies, and funding mechanisms. This can lead to a lack of cohesion and strategic focus, creating a system that is often less than the sum of its parts. Unlike China's single-minded national mission, Europe's efforts can sometimes feel like a talented but disorganized committee. This fragmentation contributes to another critical problem: brain drain. The most brilliant minds in European quantum physics are often lured away by the sky-high salaries, unparalleled resources, and dynamic research environments offered by Silicon Valley tech giants or state-backed Chinese institutions. Europe is excellent at producing world-class scientists, but it struggles to retain them. The result is a frustrating dilemma. Europe possesses the intellectual capital to be a global leader, but it struggles to match the pace, scale, and unity of its chief rivals. Its ambitious goals are constantly at risk of being outpaced by the sheer velocity of American corporate innovation and the focused, state-driven might of China's national program. These gaps are becoming increasingly visible, and if Europe cannot find a way to overcome its internal divisions, its dream of a quantum fortress may end up being a beautifully designed but ultimately hollow structure. As nations jockey for position, a parallel war is being waged that may ultimately prove more consequential. This is the war between the corporate giants, the new titans who are shaping the quantum landscape. In this new era, companies like Google, IBM, and Microsoft are not just market players. They are geopolitical actors in their own right, with influence, resources, and ambitions that rival many nation-states. Google's quantum breakthroughs, like the Sycamore chip, do more than just advance science. They shake global markets and redefine industry benchmarks, forcing entire nations to reevaluate their own progress. Their strategy is one of hardware supremacy, to build the most powerful quantum processors on the planet, and in doing so, dictate the pace of the entire field. IBM, on the other hand, is playing a different game. While also building impressive hardware, its core strategy revolves around access. Through its cloud-based quantum platform, IBM is positioning itself as the great gatekeeper to the quantum age. They are building the ecosystem, providing researchers, universities, and corporations around the world with access to their quantum computers. In this model, IBM becomes the indispensable utility, the Amazon Web Services of the quantum world, creating a powerful network effect and fostering a form of technological dependency. Then there is Microsoft, which is pursuing a high-risk, high-reward strategy. They are betting on a type of quantum bit, or qubit, known as a topological qubit. These are theoretically far more stable and less prone to errors than the qubits used by Google and IBM, but they are also incredibly difficult to build. If Microsoft succeeds, it could leapfrog the entire industry and create a truly scalable, fault-tolerant quantum computer, securing a dominant position for decades. These corporate battles are redrawing the map of global power. The future may not be defined by which nation achieves quantum supremacy, but by which platform becomes the global standard. The power is shifting from governments to the corporations that own the code, control the cloud, and hold the patents. This quantum war is no longer a distant, theoretical conflict. Its shockwaves are already beginning to ripple across every major industry, forcing a fundamental reassessment of strategy, security, and the very nature of competition. The transition is happening now, and those who fail to adapt risk being left behind in a state of permanent technological and economic dependency. In the world of finance, the race is on. Banks and financial institutions are scrambling to develop and implement quantum-safe encryption, knowing that their current systems are living on borrowed time. But they're also exploring the offensive potential. Quantum algorithms are being tested for complex risk modeling, portfolio optimization, and fraud detection, promising to give a decisive edge to the institutions that master them first. Pharmaceutical companies are on the cusp of a revolution. Drug discovery is a long, expensive process of trial and error. But quantum computers can simulate molecules at a fundamental, quantum level, a task impossible for classical computers. This could allow scientists to design new, highly effective drugs for diseases like Alzheimer's, cancer, and Parkinson's with incredible speed and precision. The company that develops a life-saving drug using a quantum computer won't just make billions. It will change the course of medicine. Logistics giants like Amazon, FedEx, and Maersk are exploring quantum optimization to solve their most complex routing problems. A quantum computer could analyze all possible routes for a global shipping fleet and find the single most efficient path in a fraction of the time, saving billions in fuel costs, reducing emissions, and dramatically improving delivery speeds. From materials science, where quantum simulations could help invent new types of batteries or superconductors, to weather forecasting, which could become exponentially more accurate, every sector is being redefined. This isn't just another technological upgrade, like the shift to mobile or cloud computing. This is a foundational paradigm shift. The companies and countries that are investing now, learning now, and preparing now will be the new leaders. Those who wait will become the new followers. As this awesome power comes into focus, humanity finds itself at a profound crossroads, facing two starkly different potential futures. The path we choose will determine whether this technology becomes our greatest salvation or our most devastating tool. The first future is one of quantum cooperation. In this scenario, nations recognize that the challenges facing humanity, climate change, disease, resource scarcity, are too great for any one country to solve alone. Quantum computing becomes a shared global resource. Breakthroughs are published openly, and scientists collaborate across borders. Quantum simulations are used to design new carbon capture technologies to heal our planet. Quantum-designed drugs eradicate devastating illnesses. A global secure quantum internet fosters a new era of trust and shared knowledge. In this future, quantum technology is a tool of unity, a testament to what we can achieve when we work together. It becomes the engine of a new age of enlightenment and shared prosperity. The second future is one of quantum chaos. This is the path we appear to be on. In this scenario, rising geopolitical rivalry and nationalist fervor trump cooperation. Quantum tools are weaponized. One nation achieves a decisive quantum advantage and uses it for economic sabotage, crashing the financial markets of its rivals. Pervasive surveillance becomes unbreakable, allowing authoritarian regimes to cement their control with a technological grip that can never be broken. A quantum divide emerges, creating a permanent class of technologically advanced have nations and a dependent class of have-not nations. The world becomes a more fragmented, more dangerous, and less trusting place, teetering on the brink of a new kind of Cold War fought with algorithms and qubits. Unfortunately, the current climate of suspicion and intense competition suggests that the future of chaos is not just a possibility, but a probability. The window for cooperation is closing, and the allure of ultimate power may be too strong to resist. This is not a debate about a distant future. The countdown has already begun, and the timeline is accelerating at a terrifying pace. The theoretical is rapidly becoming practical. Within the next 2 to 3 years, we are likely to see the emergence of quantum advantage in specific real-world applications. This won't be a computer that can do everything, but one that can solve a particular, valuable problem better than any classical computer. This could be in designing a new catalyst for a chemical company, optimizing a trading strategy for a hedge fund, or discovering a new material in a lab. The company or country that achieves this first will gain an enormous, perhaps unassailable advantage in that specific field. Within 5 to 7 years, entire economic sectors may begin to shift. Post-quantum cryptography will no longer be an option. It will be a mandatory requirement for any organization that wants to secure its data. Industries that rely heavily on simulation and optimization, like pharmaceuticals, aerospace, and finance, will be fundamentally restructured. Companies that have integrated quantum capabilities will pull far ahead of their competitors, leading to a wave of disruption and consolidation. And within a decade, it is plausible that we will see the dawn of true quantum supremacy. A fault-tolerant, general-purpose quantum computer that could completely reorder the global balance of power. The nation or entity that controls such a device would hold a decisive strategic advantage in nearly every domain, from economics to intelligence to warfare. The stakes are no longer just about scientific leadership. They are about who gets to write the rules for the 21st century. The quantum war is already in motion. It's a global chess game being played on a board we can't see, where the pieces are not kings and queens, but scientists, coders, and algorithms. On this quantum chessboard, every action is a strategic move. China's massive $15 billion investment is a bold opening gambit, an attempt to control the center of the board from the outset. America's National Quantum Initiative, coupled with the power of its tech giants, is a powerful counter, developing its pieces across a wide front. Europe's push for quantum sovereignty is a careful defensive posture, a strategic castling maneuver designed to protect its king. Every new research paper published is like advancing a pawn, claiming a small but vital piece of territory. Every patent filed is like positioning a knight, opening up new lines of attack. The formation of the quantum NATO is a coordinated move to control key squares on the board, limiting the opponent's options. The players in this game are calculating dozens of moves ahead. They are thinking about supply chains for rare materials needed to build quantum computers. They are thinking about educational pipelines to train the next generation of quantum physicists. They are engaging in a quiet but intense battle for talent, luring top researchers with irresistible offers. This is a game of immense complexity, patience, and foresight. And the winner won't just win the game. They will get to redesign the board and the rules for all future games. They will shape the new world order of the quantum age. So, we stand at this precipice with the power to build a utopia or a dystopia. The story of the quantum shadow war ultimately ends not with a conclusion, but with a challenge. To you, to me, to all of us. Will humanity choose cooperation or conflict in this new age? Will we share the incredible benefits of this technology to solve our common problems? Or will we weaponize it for national and corporate control? The lesson here is a timeless one. Technology itself is neutral. A hammer can be used to build a home or to break a window. Quantum computing can be used to cure cancer or to crack the codes that protect our life savings. The tool is not good or evil. It is merely a reflection of the values and intentions of the people who wield it. So, what can you do? This may seem like a distant conflict fought by physicists and governments, but you have a role to play. The most important piece of advice I can offer is this: become and remain informed. You don't need a PhD in quantum mechanics, but understanding the basics of this revolution is becoming an essential part of digital literacy. Seek out reliable sources. Understand what's at stake for your privacy, your finances, and your society. Support leaders and policies that advocate for transparency, international cooperation, and ethical guidelines on the development of these powerful technologies. Be a citizen of the future, not just a consumer of it. And so, I leave you with a few questions to ponder. What future do you want to see? What role should corporations, driven by profit, have in controlling a technology that could alter humanity forever? And what are you willing to do to ensure that the quantum age is one of promise, not peril? The future depends on how we answer these questions, not in a decade, but today. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the hidden world of the quantum race. I hope it has given you a new perspective on the forces shaping our world. I wish you and your loved ones nothing but the best of health and clarity in these rapidly changing times. If you found this exploration valuable and want to stay ahead of the curve on the technologies and trends that are defining our future, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support allows us to continue diving deep into the most important stories of our time.